Crossroads seem to come and go. The gypsy flies from coast to coast, knowing many, loving none, bearing sorrow, having fun. But back home we'll always run to sweet Melissa. Hey there friends, how's it going? David Potts with Song Notes here, and today we're looking at Melissa by the Allman Brothers Band. So many requests for this ones over the years, and I finally have learned this song for the first time ever this past week. It's been a delight. I love this song. So let's get into it and dive right on in, okay? This first riff I want to show you, this E to this open voicing of F sharp minor to the open voicing of G sharp minor, and then back down to F sharp. So what's going on here? This is used in the intro, the beginning of each verse, the middle, and the end of each verse. So this is going to be used throughout the song. And the great part is this is a fun, relatively approachable sequence of chords, right? You have your regular E major, okay? Now instead of doing these barred versions of F sharp minor and G sharp minor, he's taking the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings of those barred shapes. He's fretting those, but he's leaving the thickest string, thinnest string, and the 2nd string open, okay? So 2nd, 2nd, 4th is what we're fretting, and we're leaving all the other strings open. That's for the F sharp minor, and then you're just gonna take that shape, move your fingers up 2 frets, so it's 6th and 4th frets that you're fretting, and that's your G sharp minor, okay? So basically the way that riff is played is we have our E for one measure, we go to our F sharp minor for one measure, our G sharp minor for one measure, we go back down to the F sharp minor, and then we repeat the whole thing, okay? Now a really helpful tip here for finger positions to help you be efficient with this, you have 2 options, okay? One of them is you can keep your left index finger touching the 3rd string always, okay? On the E, it's on the 1st fret. Now, when you go to the F sharp minor, you want to keep it touching the string, just slide it up 1 fret, and then put your ring and pinky down on the 4th fret notes, okay? And then you slide that whole shape up, so the index finger is staying on that 3rd string. You go back down to the F sharp minor, and then you go back down to the E, and it stays on that 3rd string. So the idea here is efficiency. If this finger never has to leave the string, it kind of gives us this tactile reference point, an anchor. I find it a lot easier because once you take your fingers off the string, you have to sort of, aim and figure out which string you're going for and push down cleanly again. But if they're staying touching it, it just makes it so much more accessible, right? Now, you have another option with finger positions in these chords. You could keep your ring and pinky fingers on the 5th and 4th strings, okay? To do that, what you'll want to do is for the E, put your middle finger on the 1st fret, right? On that 3rd string 1st fret note. And then when you go to the F sharp minor, these 2 fingers are going to stay on those strings. And then you put your index finger down on that 3rd string note for the F sharp minor, move the whole shape up, move it back down, and then these 2 fingers are going to stay here for the E, right? Because we're using our middle finger. So it's up to you. There's no one right or wrong way to play this. It all depends on your hand size, your guitar, just your muscles. I mean, there's a million factors there, and that's the great thing about guitars. There's all these opportunities to find ways that make something work for us, okay? So you're gonna wanna know these 3 chords. They're used all over the place in this song. I'll talk about strumming in a little bit. So those 3 chords in the verse, for example, right? Crossroads seem to come and go. The 2nd line does the first 2 chords again. The gypsy flies from coast to coast. Okay, now we're gonna jump to our 2nd little riff here. This one, it's very similar. It's gonna use these open voicings, right? We're gonna start with a regular A major, however you wanna play it, right? The next chord though is gonna be a B minor and a C sharp minor. But instead of playing them like that, we're gonna use these open voicings. And this is the great part, is the A minor shape? You play with an A minor, just take that shape and move it up 2 frets so it's on 4th and 3rd fret, okay? And you're gonna wanna include the open 5th string and open 1st string. So we basically have, for the B minor, open, 4th, 4th, 3rd, open. Okay, it's kind of like a B minor with an A bass note, technically. I'm just going to call it B minor though. And then for the C sharp minor, same thing. You just slide that shape up 2 frets. So you're going to have, starting on the 5th string, open, 6th, 6th, 5th, open, okay? So that's our C sharp minor. And just like the E and the F sharp minor and the G sharp, we're going to do the A, B minor, C sharp minor, back to the B minor. Okay? That's a great thing you can practice in a cycle, right? Just take it nice and slow based on how comfortable you are with these chords. The tricky part about these for me was using the dots on my guitar as a reference point. Because usually when I play a B minor, I think 2nd fret, 2nd fret. That's what I'm barring. And then these fingers fall into place. But when you do this voicing, the 2nd fret isn't involved at all. So I kind of had to trick my brain and say, okay, B minor with actually 3rd and 4th fret, and then you just go 2 frets up to C sharp minor with the 5th and 6th frets. It took me a day or 2 of getting used to it. But once I'm used to it, that A, the B minor, the C sharp minor, back to the B minor. Practice it in a loop, right? And then you can sort of mix and match this when you're practicing with the E and the F sharp minor and the G sharp minor. You know, go between the two. Great little exercise you can do. Just do this maybe once or twice a day if you can, and in no time your hands are going to sort of remember those chord shapes, the muscle memory will be built up and everything. So that's what you're going to need next in the verse. The line there would be, you know, knowing many, loving none. Then we go back to that original series of chords, right? I'll talk about timing in a second here. Don't hold tight about that. Bearing sorrow, having fun. Okay? And then this last part, there's just 2 new chords here, right? Now, big picture, this is going from a C to a B, right? But back home he'll always run. But what's really happening if you watch Greg Allman play this song and you look at the melody notes that he's singing is we want to use a C major 7. That pretty much means we're going to want to take our index finger off that 2nd string. Okay? It's a C with the major 7th added. And then also, you can see Greg Allman do this. He's going to add a G bass note on the low E string. So it's 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, open, open, open. Okay? You can skip that low E string note if you want. But this is what I'm going to do because I think it sounds good. You can think of this chord as almost like an E major, but it's moved 1 string thicker and 1 fret up the neck. Okay? But back home he'll always run. Then you go to a B. Now the B is tricky because you don't have many options as far as, well, you don't have any options as far as open chord. You kind of have to do this 2nd, 4th, 4th, 4th version. That's what I like to do. You know, this is an A-shaped bar chord. You also could do up here an E-shaped bar chord, right? 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7. I tend not to do that. I like to keep things closer to the open position here on the fretboard. You could do a B7 if you want. Okay, it's not what they play, but it'll work well enough. Another option is you could just do this, the 4th fret on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Okay, almost like whatever you do for an A major, just slide that up 2 frets and only play strings 2, 3, 4. That's your B. That could work, right? So for example, but back home he'll always run. And you let that ring. You just play it once and let it ring. To sweet Melissa. Then you go back to the E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and you guessed it, back down to the F sharp minor. And that's all you need for every verse. It's just those 3 little chord sequences here, okay? So really quick, let me talk about timing in the verse and the chords and how long you're on each chord. The short version is this verse ends, it begins and ends with every chord you're on is for 1 measure, 4 counts, right? So 1, 2, crossroads, they seem to come and go. 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 2, gypsy flies coast 2, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4. And then here in my song sheet, you'll notice these brackets around the chords. What that's telling you is whenever you see 2 chords in a bracket, it means that those 2 chords are played within a single measure. And it pretty much means you stay on each chord for half the normal amount of time. Said another way, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you keep going with that sort of timing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you get to that C major 7, we're going back to 1 chord for 4 counts, right? 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, Okay, so let me do a playthrough just for timing. I'm gonna do a down strum on every 1 count and 3 count, just so you get the idea. That way it's fleshed out a little bit. This is a great way to get used to the chord shapes before we bring in a real strumming pattern. And notice how when I get to the A major, that's where the sort of chord changes are happening every 2 beats. Okay, so that's what it's gonna sound like. So 1, 2, ready, go, and E, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, G sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, then to E, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, A, to B minor, 4, C sharp minor, to B minor, E, to F sharp minor, G sharp minor, F sharp minor, C, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, without Melissa. Okay? There we go. That's all you're going to need for every verse, okay? So you'll want to learn those chord shapes, obviously, and the timing can be tricky, but you just remember, once you get to the A, that's when things start changing a little bit quicker, okay? Now, really quick, before we move into strumming, let's look at the bridge super quickly. The bridge happens after the 2nd verse, before the 3rd verse. You play it once. The great thing about this is you're on every chord for 4 counts, right? 1 measure on each chord, nice and straightforward. The only new chords we're going to have here are a D major. Just play your regular D major chord as you normally would, then it's 4 strings. And then there will be a B, which you'll need a few times. Okay, so again, you could use that B7 if that's easier for you, or just play those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings by themselves. You could do a B power chord, right? Strings 5, 4, 3, without the bar, right? It's up to you. And then you'll need a C sharp minor as well. And you're going to want to do a barred C sharp minor if you can. Right? It might sound a bit funky if you do the open version. He's not really doing the open chord voicings here. But the bridge is going to sound like this, right? Again the morning's come, again he's on the run. A, the sunshine shining through his hair. B, fear not to have a care. C sharp minor, dot dot dot, then gypsy roll on. Then D for 2 measures. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that B, that C sharp minor, I didn't tell you how to play it. It's 4th fret, 6th fret, 6th fret, 5th, 4th. Okay, it's basically the same shape as a B minor. It's just moved up to the 4th, 6th, and 5th frets. Okay, so that's all you're going to need as far as chords to play this entire song. Now, really quick, I want to talk about some strumming. Okay, like I said before, if you're just getting started with things, I would get used to doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Get used to this, right? Learn the chord shapes, learn the chord progressions, work on that clean chord changes. You can even sing if you want. Crossroads seem to come and go. For me, when I'm learning a song and I'm learning the chord shapes, the chord progressions, I'm trying to sing, remember the lyrics, be in pitch and all that stuff. If you're trying to combine too many difficult things at the same time, strumming included, you might mess some things up, right? So when you're just getting started, if you want to work on the vocal melody, for example, just use an easy strum, okay? Now, from there, another sort of simplified strum you could do is a 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this avoids up strums. That's why I'm including it as a simple option here. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. That's a great intermediate strum as we move into these full strums. Now, the full strums here. I'm going to give you 2 options. One of them is what you hear the Allman Brothers or Greg Allman playing in the beginning of the song, right? It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. And in my notation here, notice how there's some smaller arrows, like the up strum in between the 3 and the 3N count. Those are meant to just denote light brushes, right? Every strum doesn't need to be the same strength. You really want to understand the idea of these accented strums. and the sort of brushier ones, right? Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. When you're doing those brushy strums, it's okay if you just get the thinnest couple strings. You don't need to strum all the strings all the time. Now, the other strum I like to do, it's very similar to that one, but it's going to sort of do a down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down. I'll go back to the other strum to compare the difference. Here's the first full strum. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. Okay, so you'll use that for the entire song. Now, the one gotcha with the strumming here is, you know when I talked about those measures where you're doing 2 chords per measure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna wanna change our strum a little bit because we always wanna make sure there's a down strum on the 3 count, right? So what I like to do is just a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. I'll use that for the measures where there's 2 chords in a measure. It just basically is a mini 2 count strum pattern. Down, 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 up. We're gonna do that for each chord. So check this out, right? Down, 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 up, 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 down. Then you go back to the regular strum. Without Melissa. Okay, so those are your strumming options there. I have these all written up on my song sheet on page 2. They're all typed up with arrows and everything to sort of give you what you need to do there, okay? Now, if you want a slow playthrough with the tabs on screen zoomed in on my guitar, and I'll do one for a simple strum and also for a full strum, I have that in a separate video. It's over on my website, songnotes.net. You can find the link in the description of this video. And I also have a video talking about the vocal melody notes. If you want to figure out, what are the notes he's singing, crossroads seem to come and go, yeah. Da, 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 da. I talk about, I show what those are in tab form, and I also show my process of working it out in case you're curious, right? A lot of you have asked for that, and just me learning this song, trying to get better at singing it, just that exercise of writing up those tabs and playing those melody notes, it kind of gave me the sound that, my vocal pitch should be hitting, and it's really helped a lot in just a day or so of practice. So check out those videos on my website if you want to go further with this song, and I also have the song sheet available for purchase. It's officially licensed and legal. That way the songwriters are getting their fair share of everything. And if you're a member over on my website, songnotes.net, you get a 50% discount code on this song sheet. But you also get access to all my members only videos like the ones I mentioned for this song, and all my instructional PDFs, right? These are the non-song PDFs that teach you concepts and riffs and exercises and theory and cool stuff. They're all print friendly, made with absolute care. I have one, for example, on these sort of open E chord positions, chord shapes you can use. It's a separate video I made years ago, but it's perfect for this song because of the F sharp minor, right? You can have tons of fun playing all kinds of chord shapes in E using these open chords. So I'll put a link to that in there as well. But thanks for watching, y'all. I'll play this one out. I hope you found this helpful. Check out my website for the extended videos if you want some additional instruction here. And thanks to all of you who have requested this song. It's been so fun to learn, and I've had a joy listening to it and reading about it in these past few days. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.